Hey, it's Amy Wolf here with another video. And today I'm going to be talking about crystal familiars. And so what is a crystal familiar? Well, when I'm talking about crystals, of course, if you been subscribed to my channel and know the type of videos that I do, I'm talking about healing crystals like amethyst, rose quartz, citrines, all that stuff, healing crystals. And, what's often how people often use crystals is for all sorts of things, depending on the crystal, but it's usually for healing and clearing and, having some type of, I guess, aura or energy in their rooms or around them or all kinds of stuff. So if you know what a crystal is and you're a spiritual person and all that, then you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, regular fucking rocks that come out the ground that you used to heal. So, like I said, I'm going to be talking about crystal familiars. And this isn't something that I got out of a book. This actually came from me working with my crystal Sunny, which is my Herkimer diamond. And I'll go a little bit more on, a little bit on what's a Herkimer diamond, because it's not about this crystal, is more of the relationship and the, I guess, internal workings of working or having a really close personal relationship with a crystal, which, you know, which is like the crystal familiar, thing or relationship. But I think I forgot what I was talking about. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about crystal familiars and how to find your own, because it's a really, really cool concept that I've learned through my workings with my own crystal. And so, what is a crystal familiar? Basically, a crystal familiar is a crystal that most closely matches your soul, your core energy, like your higher self or who you really are. And what makes crystal familiars, or the crystal that is your crystal familiar, different from other stones is that the energy that the crystal holds matches your own, and the properties and the healing benefits matches your purpose. It's almost like if your soul or your entire being was a crystal, your crystal familiar will be it. And with that being said, another great thing about crystal familiars is that they are like guides, like spiritual guides, but in a crystal form. They'll actually help you in all sorts of ways, depending who you are, because it's unique to everyone. They will help you on like really huge areas in your life, and they'll talk to you and communicate to you and send you all kinds of messages, and you just have this sort of special bond with the crystal. Because I know with Sunny and me, like as soon as I, got him out of the box because I got it from Etsy, I felt the powerful energies of the Herkimer diamond. It was like amazing. And maybe a day after, or maybe that night that I got it, all these different things about past lives or other planets and all these different kinds of things emerged that I never knew like I even had. But it made sense, about why I have these certain quirks and how I fit into like society and all these different things. So it's just like it really cleared up all the things that I thought was wrong with me. Like, so I learned nothing was really wrong with me. I was just, I just didn't know I had these like experiences like before I was born and everything like that that kind of contributed and affects my present life at this moment. But yeah, basically, a crystal familiar is a crystal that best matches your, your soul and core energies. And how that I found out about this is basically working with my Herkimer diamond. And just a brief overview on Herkimer diamonds. I'm just going to tell you about my personal like feelings and experiences. You can read up on it, and I'm not going to say my definition of Herkimer diamonds does it match what other people have said, but if I just repeat what everyone else said, I feel like I'm not really talking about my own relationship or my personal experience, because, what I felt from the crystal, even though I can definitely relate to everything that the websites were saying and stuff like that, I feel like I had a much more richer experience. I feel like even the way I used this crystal was different from what everyone else was, appointing the crystal to, or the purposes it had and how you can use it. But just to give a quick overview is that, this is Herkimer diamonds are a quartz crystal. They're the clearest and hardest quartz of them all. A website called this a master class healing crystal. And actually, I'm pretty lucky to have this particular Herkimer diamond because they're really tiny. Usually they'd be about like yay big, like little seeds, and they double terminate, so they're really powerful. And this one obviously is really huge. And these can go for a lot of money because, they are extremely rare, actually rarer than actual diamonds. And that's because they come from Herkimer, New York. That's the name Herkimer diamond. And I can tell you from the jump that this is a truth crystal. This crystal illuminates the blind spots of your personality and who you really are. This crystal, I definitely would say, is not for the faint of heart. And I really mean that because this energy that it holds is very intense and it goes very deep. That's the thing. It's not even though it is intense, it's not the intensity that you need to look out for. It's the things it's going to bring up that you need to look out for. Because like I said, I got from Etsy and this was like $10. And you have to watch out because people do sell fakes. It might look like a Herkimer diamond, but it's not. Just a little tidbit there. But, even though I got this crystal from Etsy and I opened the box or whatever I was talking about, it really it just brought up so much stuff that I didn't know I even had. Like, it's not even about stuff that I thought about before, even like once. I mean, it totally brought up things that I never even considered in a sense. And like I said, it just really illuminates the blind spots. And, another thing about this crystal that I only heard only one website talk about is how it's multidimensional. From the rip, I felt like this crystal is like in two places at once, like it's multidimensional. It's always in between the realms and such. And because of that, I feel like it brings in all these different types of energies to you. So that's another thing to really, be aware of if you're looking to have one of these is, the fact that you're bringing to you a lot of energies that you might not be ready for. And energies that that might overwhelm you. And these are not negative energies I'm speaking about. It's just in general. It's like different dimensions. It's opening up all sorts of portals where you are sort of on the receiving end of them. So if you're not really, I guess, up to speed or really confident on how much energy you can take in from other realities and things like that, I say sort of like avoid this as much as possible until you're ready for it, because I mean, this is almost like a vortex on its own. And like I said, you won't hear about this on the websites and stuff like that. On the websites, they call it an attunement stone. It's good for connecting with your clients, or, before you do a healing, you use this crystal to connect yourself with the client, and, it gives you clarity. It gives you better dream recall and things like that. And to be honest, I can definitely relate to I guess, the fact that it relates to dreams, because I'm really knee deep into that. Not just dreams that you have at night, but your life purpose and those types of dreams. Even though I can relate to those things and the clarity and the increased psychic powers and how powerful and how it intensifies everything. I feel like, at least for me, this stone is more about being not even authentic. It's really about being who you are. And it's not just being who you are like the way everyone else, says it, but who you really are at your core. And it will show you exactly who you are at that core. And you might not be able to handle that because we can be so locked in into these, like thought patterns of not being good enough. So when you kind of see that bigger and better picture of yourself, you might reject it or even run up against it in a negative way even more. So you feel even more bad and not believe in yourself because you feel like, of course I'm not that person. I can't do that, and yada, yada, yada. So long story short, because I think I've rambled on about this damn stone for like 10 minutes, is that this is a truth crystal. You know, it illuminates the blind spots and it shows you who you really are. It's very, very multidimensional, and it attracts in energies from other realms. And I'm not even sure how that works on its own, but it does. So as far as why is this crystal familiar, how does this crystal relates to my soul energies, I can definitely say for a fact that the way it illuminates my blind spots, I do that for other people. I usually, for some reason, this even happened last night, is that, me and my friend, we was talking and she was going through a lot of stuff with basically being who she is. And even though I kind of got that blind spot and just yanked it out of her, because that's what I usually do. I see when people talk to me and have these issues, I can just point out exactly what the problem is and I can just exploit the shit out of it, if I really want to or not. I usually don't unless, I'm given a reading or what have you, or you're a close friend. But, I can see what problem you're having. It's almost as clear as day, and I can yank it out and just go on and on about it and give you all this advice and all that jazz. And so I did that sort of thing on the phone that night with her. And this was like in the middle of the night, like 1 o'clock. But earlier, because she was over my house, we was talking, because we talk like crazy. And when she began to talk about whatever it was, it wasn't even related to the problem that she was having, or she eventually found out she was having. Wait, actually, she was talking about a problem she was having. So she was talking about the problem that she was having, and I remember I crossed my legs and I kind of went like this or something. My energy shifted into what I call the counselor mode, and I was just like, I smell the blood in the water. I know what this feeling means. I knew I was listening to her because I was here listening to her problems, and I was going to nab whatever it is that was a problem and like get rid of it for her. And even though I didn't do it right then and there, I felt it and I knew it was going to happen. So we had that phone call, and I was asking her like a lot of tough questions, and she was confining how she was really feeling and stuff like that and all that. She didn't see that what she was talking about was the problem, but I did, clear as day, and I threw that in her face, and she was like, "Oh my goodness, that really is it." And I was just like, "Yes." So I don't even know where that comes from. I don't remember like that's exactly what I want to do when I grow up. It just happened naturally as I was on, just not living life, but yeah, pretty much living life. It's just something that was really ingrained in me, obviously, because I didn't really notice that till a few years ago. And I don't want to stray off too far, especially since it's already 13 minutes in the video, but having a Scorpio rising and having a lot of these, I have a conjunction with Saturn, Neptune, Saturn. I forgot, but I have this crazy ass conjunction, and whatever horoscope gibberish, I have this sort of like energy about me, or I can see it really clear in my path about transformation and like breaking down of things so I can build them back up. It's almost like destroying stuff. It's like I destroy things, but then because I destroy things, I can rebuild new things or allow the new energy to come in because the old energy has been thrown away. So that's always been in my life. I've been doing it for other people. That's just something that really surrounds my whole existence as far as this lifetime is concerned. So I feel like what makes me and this Herkimer diamond so similar in our core is that we both illuminate the dark spots, the things that you don't see, and we put them, in the light, destroy them or whatever process that happens, and then throw them out so the new could come in. Because that's what this crystal did for me. It cleared up a whole lot of dark blind spots, but then the new energy came rushing in, and it was just like my life was changed forever. Like, and I don't even mean to say that in a light way. It really did change my life. It changed the way that I viewed myself, my world, and the path that I walked down. So, I'm like, yeah, that's that's the power of the Herkimer diamond, and that's the relationship. That's how I feel like my abilities matches what this crystal, you know, energy is about. And another thing about having crystal familiars is that they do give you a lot of guidance. This is literally like another spirit guide, because every time I have trouble explaining my feelings, or I'm having trouble with like having resistance, or I'm not sure why I'm having a tough time overcoming these certain things, or how I'm feeling about stuff, I ask Sunny to like help me, you know, say what I'm trying to say, and then I find the words, and it excuse me, it brings it up so clearly and in a way where I can see it for what it really is. You know, this crystal isn't about, you know, glossing over things with love. It shows you exactly who it is, who you are right in that moment. And this is not to say this is a really like traumatizing crystal or really intense in a negative way, or even like in a more heavier type of energy. This crystal is extremely happy. It's a very happy, bright crystal, thus the name Sunny that it wanted to be named. And there's the door.